All right, so now that we have our prediction equation, we want to graph it. Now there are two different ways that we can graph that, and I'm going to show you both ways. So the first way, in my opinion, is a little bit more challenging to remember, but for some students, they just like that better, and that's completely fine. So we want to be in our y equals, so anytime we want to graph something, we want to go to y equals. So now that we're in y equals, we want to make sure that we're in y1, and we're going to press bars, so this VARS here, and then we're going to arrow over 1. Oh, sorry. We're going to go down to statistics. Even I still forget how to do this sometimes. We want to go down to statistics, so number 5, enter, and then now we want to arrow over so that it says EQ, that stands for equation. And then the reg, so that's our linear regression equation. That's what that first one stands for. So that's the one that we want to pick. So we're going to press enter. And then you can see that our calculator kind of copy-pasted our equation that we already calculated into our y equals. So once that's there, we're going to press our graph key. So it looks like it's going through our points really nicely. Now, the second way that we can graph, so if we go back to our y equals button, if you do have something there, we just press clear to get rid of it. We can just type in this equation that we wrote down. So we would do 0.144, and then this xt theta n is the key that we would press next. So that'll give you your x variable. And then minus 2.11432. So this one is going to be rounded, but we should still get pretty close to the same thing. So now we're going to press graph, and it's thinking. Oh, my decimal's in the wrong place. So, happens sometimes, so let's get rid of that. There we go. So as you can see, it's still very close to that other line. So you can use either method to graph. Now, once we have it graphed, we can very easily make predictions. So remember that our 2025, it's a year, so it represents an x value. So our calculator will calculate this for us. So if we press our trace key, we can move our cursor on this graph. So if you notice up here, it says plot 1 and then L1, L2. So if we arrow left and right, it's going to arrow between the dots. Now for this one, we want to be on our line. So if you arrow up, you should notice that this changed to Y1. So now when we arrow left and right, we're on the graph. And you can see down here, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit, as we move, our X's and Y values are changing. Now we want the exact value. So if we know the x, we can type that in. So I'm going to type in that 2025 because that's the x that we care about. So 2025, and you do have to make sure that you're in the trace mode to do this. Type in your number and then press enter, and it's going to give you the y value. So we're just going to write that down. So our life expectancy in 2025 is about 80. And since all the other ones are in the tens place, that's where we're going to round. So 80.2. Now the other way that you could do this, if you really wanted to make a prediction, so if you didn't want to graph it and see it, since this is an x value, you can just substitute this number in for this x. So we would do y equals 0.144 times 2025 minus 211.432, and then we would simplify this. So if we simplify that, we're still going to end up with this 80.2 if we round. Okay. So you can do it either way, so whichever way makes more sense to you.